Hey guys, happy Friday. I just kind of wanted to make a video because it's been a few days, and even though I haven't necessarily done much, I still think it would be kind of, I figured maybe I could kind of talk about the movies that I watch, because that is pretty much what I've been doing now. I don't think I will be playing much WoW anymore. I canceled my sub because I haven't really been enjoying Mythic Plus anymore, and just having my sub for Mythic Plus doesn't feel like it's enough of a reason to play. And a lot of the times I'm online, a lot of the groups take really long to form, and after they are done forming, I feel like there's not necessarily always a high success rate in getting a key done on time, and I feel like there aren't as many players that really want to communicate. Like, even if you get all 5 people on Discord, not everybody talks, and I think that's really important. So I have like my frustrations with playing the game, and just nowadays I don't feel like the time I put in, I get the same amount of enjoyment out of it. So I think I still have like 10 more days or something on my sub, but I don't really see myself logging in. So I've been, no, head down. Good. Sorry, had to correct Riley. But yeah, so I've been watching a lot of movies, and if you're not interested in movies, you probably don't want to listen to me talk about it. But if you are very into movies, and you like talking about them and discussing them, then I would welcome you to leave a comment about something that you've seen. Chances are, I would like to say that I've seen it, because I've seen a lot of movies. I've been keeping track of what I've been watching since 2011, which was a few years after college, which is when I really started getting into it. But I'm sorry, I think I have maybe a hair on my nose or something that makes it itching right now. But usually I try to watch several movies throughout the week, and ideally, I guess it would be nice to watch one a day, but I used to do it so that I would pretty much watch a movie I haven't seen every single day if possible. But the thing is, there are times that I found myself watching a movie that I really didn't have a lot of initial interest in. So nowadays I'm trying to really focus on the ones that I have motivation to watch. And because of that, it tends to lessen the amount of movies that I have queued up to watch. But I guess I'll try to keep it to, I will start on Monday of this week, which is October 9th. And so far I've only seen 4 this week. I did plan on watching one tonight, but I kind of felt like filming something now before it started getting late, and I would be lazy about it. But alright, so on Monday I watched Smashed. I will probably provide posters along with this video, just so people have a better visual understanding of which one I'm talking about, because not everybody knows movies very well by name. But this movie had Aaron Paul in it, and it had, is it Mary Elizabeth Winstead? Yeah. Okay. I didn't think her first name was Mary, but Mary Elizabeth Winstead. It was basically a movie about how they were both married and they were both alcoholics, but when she decided to go sober, it created issues for her life and her relationship with him. I guess I'll try not to spoil anything, but I guess it was a pretty decent movie. At first I started off not liking it too much, because they did spend a decent amount of time building up her character in terms of a lot of the dumb things she would do when she would be drunk, and just how much trouble she would get in. And I guess during that period of time, I didn't necessarily generate any attachment to her character. And I guess the whole point was for you to kind of feel some sort of dislike towards the actions she was doing. So during that whole ramp-up process of introducing her and her problems to you, I was starting to feel unengaged, and I usually give a movie like, I guess 15 to 20 minutes This one I decided to stick out, and I did enjoy the ending, but usually I just do that just to make sure that I'm not watching 2 hours of a movie that I can't enjoy at all. So this one I liked a decent amount. I guess I would definitely recommend watching it. It would probably resonate more with people who have similar issues or know people who have that issue, but I tend to watch movies just kind of, I like to escape, so I don't watch movies to always relate to them, but this one was pretty decent, I guess. I wouldn't entirely recommend it because I don't think it's amazing, but it's a pretty good watch. Okay, next, the next day, I think oh yeah, so I've pretty much watched a movie every single day since Monday, so I've been doing pretty good. Sorry, talking too fast. But next was a movie that my friend Shane recommended. It's an old one, The Addams Family. I actually had never seen this before. I actually forget how he brought it up, but I think I was telling him about Angelica Houston randomly, and how I really enjoyed her performance in The Witches. It was a super old movie that I saw when I was a child. So yeah, I ended up watching it. I thought the plot was a little lackluster to me personally. It's just about, I feel like the plot is a little hard to explain, but I felt like I enjoyed Angelica Houston and Raul Garcia's performance and a little bit of Christina Ricci more than the plot itself. And I think that is a little problematic because, yeah, I didn't feel any attachment to like the story or what was going on. I just liked seeing how those specific characters interacted with each other and just like how dramatic they were acting and very out there, and I thought it was really cool. And it's a pretty weird universe. I don't know if that's the right word to use, or atmosphere, but it's definitely different than normal. So seeing how they were acting with each other and like the kind of stuff that they would do. Christina Ricci was adorable at that age, and she played a very like sinister kind of little girl, so it was kind of cute seeing her do stuff, but plot-wise I didn't find myself very interested in it. So I think it's a movie you would want to watch at least once in your life, but I definitely would not put it anywhere high up on my list. I just want to reiterate that these are strictly my opinions. I feel like I have movie tastes that differ from nearly everybody that I know. Wednesday, I watched The Fly. It is considered a sci-fi horror genre, but I would not call it horror at all. I feel like the definition of horror has completely changed since that time and now. Horror to me is like scary, like supernatural, kind of, what is that? Conjuring. Those are considered horror to me because the goal is to scare you and to kind of like make you feel nervous and fearful while you're watching the movie as to what is going to happen. But for something like The Fly, it feels like strictly sci-fi to me, but there are a lot of aspects of it that are, it's very gory and graphic. So if you have a weak stomach, you don't want to watch this movie. But I really like this movie. I like sci-fi when it is done very well. And Jeff Goldblum, who is not in a lot, but he's awesome. I really like him. He has a great, he's very charismatic to me. But yeah, there are a lot of parts in this movie that took me by surprise in terms of graphicness and gore. It's it's similar to the movie The Thing, the older version, the one in the 1980s or whenever it came out. That one, not the remake. In terms of like surprise gore, I don't tend to read up much about movies that I end up watching, so I don't know ahead of time when something kind of gross is gonna happen. But usually when those scenes come on, for someone like me, depending on the context of what's actually happening, it could be kind of funny. Like if you take it out of the story's context and you just see like Um, I don't know if it would be a spoiler, but like the whole concept is he's turning into a fly. So at some point when it gets bad enough, he starts vomiting or regurgitating some sort of liquid, and then it dissolves what it gets on. So seeing him like do that to somebody in the movie looks gross because whatever it lands on is dissolving, but just the idea of him like acting that out to me was funny. So that made it kind of comical for me to watch that movie. But I do think overall the plot is good. I like the performances. Gina Davis was good. And yeah, overall just a good sci-fi movie. I'm sure they've maybe done remakes, or I think this is a remake itself, but yeah, it was good. I would definitely recommend this movie. Just be prepared for a couple scenes that might make you look away, but they're not that bad at all. And then the last one that I watched yesterday was Say Anything. It is a romantic, I guess, comedy, but I didn't actually laugh much. A lot of romantic comedies don't make me laugh much, but it's very famous. It has, I hope I'm not saying it wrong, Ion Sky, I believe that is her name, and John Cusack. Yeah, it's very popular. It's basically how a very smart high school student falls in love with a boy that's like optimistic. That's kind of what the plot describes him as, optimistic with like no plans after high school. Like he's kind of directionless, but he's not a bad person. So it's basically just about how they fall in love and like some of the conflicts that she has with her father. It sounds like a really crappy plot, and I don't feel like I can say more. If you want to look it up, go ahead. It was in 1989, but yeah, I kind of felt bad for not liking it because it's so well received. People rank it as like probably one of the better romance movies out there, and I definitely don't find fault in it, but I didn't find myself being too interested in the characters. The characters didn't interest me. I don't know if it was the actors themselves that I couldn't get into as much, or yeah, I'd say that is a large reason why I found myself losing interest in the movie. A lot of what I would consider a big tell in terms of if I like a movie or not is if I'm not like touching my phone, if I really want to focus. And this one it didn't keep me focused. I was distracted a lot and I couldn't care. I didn't find myself caring about what happened to the characters, what was going to happen next. There are some times where, it was like sweet and everything, their relationship and how they fell in love, but I feel like I had more connection to other romances than this one. Of course, like the Addams Family, I would say this one deserves at least one watch, just so you could see if you like it or not. It's definitely not a bad movie. I just didn't connect with it as much. So maybe I'll do this every week, kind of talk about what I've seen. Feel free to leave comments about any of the movies if you have seen them as well, and we could discuss. I am happy to discuss movies anytime. I try to make sure I remember details from movies, even if it's years later. I think it's really important to me, at least, to know whether I've seen something, and just remembering details feels really good. But yeah, so this weekend I guess I am slightly occupied. Tomorrow is Milo's birthday. He's turning 1. Sorry, he's right here. Oh, hi. Doesn't want to look into the camera. He's turning 1. I was hoping by this age that he would mellow out, but he is still very much a troublemaker. He makes Sammy meow and howl at night, which is very disruptive. And then he always incites, wrestling. He's just super active, but I kind of wanted to bring him out and do some stuff with him for his birthday. Like, I have been trying to re-expose him to the outside world lately by taking him on walks with me and Riley. So it's been, I think I've taken him out at least 7 days now, and I would just take him in a little backpack that's like strapped to the front of me. So it's the kind of thing that parents do with their babies, but I'm doing it with a cat. And I mean, I get some stares, but I'm usually in my own little bubble when I walk Riley. And even if he's with me, I don't take note of what other people are saying or doing. Like, some people have interacted with me, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, they'd be walking behind me and they'd see the tail and be wondering what's happening and then approach me, which is fine. But yeah, usually I don't get, I get a few people laughing at me, but I think they're laughing at the fact that he's dangling in front of me like a baby for the most part. So yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna try to bring him out. I think I might bring him to the park on a harness and see if he can be like he was when he was young. As a kitten, I brought him to the park kind of often, and I let him run around with Riley, and he seemed comfortable, but it's been a few months, so he might not be the same way anymore. And then on Sunday, I have a dog training community class, so that will be good for me to kind of clarify a few things with Riley and the way I've been dealing with her. Dog training is pretty endless in terms of how much effort you have to put in, so it's what I signed up for, but sometimes it can be tiring. But I am looking forward to Sunday, so maybe I can get a few things cleared up, and then the rest of the time I will be chain watching more movies or something. So I will be back next time. I'll probably make a little birthday vlog for this guy. But have a good Friday, everybody.